Welcome back, guys. So in this episode we're going to be building a platform which actually showcases the popular movies which are available. So this platform is particularly called MovieMate, and then we are going to be using the MovieDB.org's API, which is available for free for a certain limit and threshold. So you can make use of it as a project for your portfolio. So in this particular case, it's actually pretty straightforward to how to sign up for moviedb.org. You just have to give a username, password, and then the email. So once you sign up, they will send you a confirmation email, and then you just have to confirm. And then after that, you can directly go to this particular link where each of these links I will be putting in the description. Then you can directly click from there. So we're going to be using the version 3 of the moviedb.org's version, API version. So inside that, it's pretty straightforward. You can actually use the application using this particular URL links. So instead of movie, we'll be using the popular movie list, which can be accessed. And then we will also look at how we can access the images. So let's take a look at the final product. So this is how it will look. You will have the last 20 popular movies, and then with their name, image, and then the rating, and then the release date was also there. Okay, so once you click on any of this particular movie, you will see a small overview and then the rating and then how many users are actually voted for it. All right, so this is pretty basic, and then you can actually work on this like a little bit more, and then you can explore the API on your own. But for now, in this particular video, we will just do the basic part. Okay, so once you have signed up and then you are on the application page, you can actually get the API if you go to the getting started part, and then you can get this to register for an API. Click the API link, so it will take you to the login page, and then it will ask you for creating an app. So you just create an app with some random basic details, and then you will have the API key as so over here. So I'm just going to copy my API key, and then after that we will create a folder called MovieMate, and inside that we will create index.html and then style.css, and then also our script.js. We'll also create a new file called dev.env.js. So this will hold our API key. So I'm just going to put my API key so that we can get it out of our way. So we have it, and then we can directly use this API key in our project. Okay. So once we have done that, I'm just going to copy our index.html file and style.css file, which I will be giving the link in the description. You can just copy it from there, and then you can just directly focus on the scripting part. Okay. So I'm just going to copy the styling also. So we have both of the styling, and then I'm just going to put the script.js to check if that's working. Console.log hello. And then I'm going to be using the live server extension by VS Code, and then you can see as it is working. All right, just check console. Yeah, so that part is working. All right, so now let's get building. So if you look at the index.html, before that I'm just going to give you a quick overview how the index.html or style.css work. So in this case, we are going to be using Bootstrap. So Bootstrap 5.3.0 is the version I'm currently using a CDN. And then this is the CSS part, and then this is the JS part. Okay, then I'll be also using Font Awesome 6 version 6, and then our default styling, which we have written here. Okay, and then I have also included our dev.env.js so that we have access to the API key, and then our script.js. Okay, now let's just go through the HTML. So inside the HTML, we have a row div with the class name movie list. So inside the movie list, we will be showing all these movie list cards, right? And then the movie details is the modal wrapper. So inside that we have a modal, and then this is the modal wrapper. So this will act as our modal. So that's about it. So we will just get all these elements, and then this is our loader. So this is the loader which will show up when you are actually getting the movies from the API. So first things first, we will just create an element called movie list, and then document.query selector, and then we will do dot movie list, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, movie list. I'm just going to copy that to make sure. Yeah, that is there. Okay, now we have the movie list, and then I will also access the loader element. Loader L document dot get element by ID. So this is the loader class, loader ID. Copy that and paste it over here. So once you have the loader element, we will also get the API key from our dev.env.js. So make sure that by console or logging in, you have to make sure that you are accessing that particular key. So I'm not going to do it now because it will be there. And then we will set the URL, API URL equal to this URL can be found over here. If you go to the getting started part and then application, you can see the URL, right? So I'm just going to copy 3movie, and then instead of the movie ID, we will fetch the popular movies, and then I will add the API key as the parameter. So inside the API key, we will just use API key. So this will call the URL with our API key in it. Okay, and then now we will just show the loader element. So how loader element works is it has a loaded class on top of it. So if it has this particular class, it won't show up over here. If you notice, you are actually seeing the screen. But if you remove the loaded class, then what will happen is, let's just remove it quickly, and then you will notice that the loader class is actually working. So remove the loader class. Yeah, so that's being shown over here. So you can just remove that in the beginning to make sure that that class is not shown and the screen is loading. And now we can use fetch and then API URL. So it will return a promise, and then if that promise is successful, then we can get the response, and then we will access the JSON method on top of the response, and then after that we will get that data, and then we will just console log it to make sure that it is working. Okay, and then we will let's just quickly check how the console logging is working. Yeah, as you can see, you are getting all these results: page 1 results, total pages, and then total results. So I'm just going to copy this object and then put it over here so that we can have it for future reference. And I'll go to the top. So I will press Ctrl K3, and then as you can see, our results array has all these movie objects. So each of these movie objects has like certain key sets, and then we will be using the title, and then the vote average, and then the movie details pop-up. We'll use vote count, and then the poster path, backdrop path, and then the overview. These are things we are going to be mainly focusing on. So once we have the movies array from the data results, we will loop through it, and then we can create all the movie cards as we want. So for each, and then each movie, I will create a movie element, movie L document dot create element, and then a div element is created, and then we will also add some of the bootstrap classes to it so that it becomes responsive. So call large, in large screens it will take 3 width, and then in small screens it will take 6 width, and then in not in small screens, like in medium screens it will take 6 width, and then in small screens it will take full width, just 12. Okay, so now we have our element created, and then we will make sure that our element's inner HTML value is another one of the styling. So we have to make this particular element clickable. So we will wrap it in a element, and then I will also add some basic styling for bootstrap. So we will create a div with the class card, and then bg secondary. We'll also use a bg gradient, which is part of bootstrap 5.3, and then text light, and then the next one would be another div with a class card content. So class equal to card, and then which will also have card body, and then which will also have a text sender class to sender the text. And then inside that we will have another div with a class of feature, and inside that feature class we will have the poster image of that particular movie. So img src, and we'll also have an alt tag. Okay, so if you notice, our movie's image URL is kind of only the last element is there. So according to the moviedb.org, their API just mentions that you have to go to the images and then basics. If you notice, all the images actually starts with image.tmdb.org, and then there is some thumbnail and then poster stuff, which I am not sure what does it stand for. And then you have this W500, which is what we need. So W500 or W300, which means like we can vary the size of that particular poster we want according to the value we give over here. So let's say in our case, I'm just going to copy this first part, and then if I go over here and then paste it, and then I will copy this poster path, and if I paste it over here, so you can see we are getting the actual poster image. So let's change the width 500 from 400. So it'll give you a 400 width image, right? So same thing for 300 and so on. So in our case, we're going to be using a 300 value. So I'm just going to copy this particular URL and then paste it over here inside this, and then I will replace the last element with the actual movie dot poster path, which is the key name, right? So I'm going to copy that poster path, and then if the image is not found, then in certain devices it won't be found. So we can use movie dot title and then image. So screen readers can actually make sure, okay, this is fine. The movie image is not found, so that's why we are showing the text as this one. Okay, so now we have the feature done, and then we will create another h2 tag for displaying the movie name. So h2, I'm going to close down h2, and then inside that we will have movie dot title, and then h2 will also have certain classes, which is like font size is 4, and then font weight is bold, and movie name is the class I have given the name to. Okay, so after that I will also give another div with class container, and then some of the bootstrap classes, utility classes for the styling, for our release date, and then the rating. So I'm just saying you need to have the div as inline flex, and then the content should be justified around. And then I'm going to close down that div. Then I will also use two p tags. One would be having a margin of bottom 0, and then it will have a class of release date, and then it will start from the starting position of the float. Okay, and then I'm gonna insert a text saying release, and then it can be found in the release date. So release underscore date. So this particular value can be found over here inside release date. So that's where I have written over here, right? And then we also need the rating. So I'm just going to copy this particular line and then paste over here. Instead of release date, I will change the class to rating, and then instead of the release text, I will change it to a font awesome class with class name equal to fa star. Okay, so once that's done, you have to also change this to vote average. So I'm going to copy that and then paste over here. So we have our voting and then the release date. So once that is done, what we can do is we can append this element into our movie list. So movie list dot append child, and then movie L. Okay, let's just check if this is actually being shown over here. If I go to hide the loader. So I'm just going to copy this. Once I have got the results, I'm going to just add the class back offloaded, add, and then yeah, now you can see all those elements are shown up nicely. And then if you notice, the styling for the mouse pointer on hovering is actually done in the style.css. So we have to just look for this click event. So for that, each of the movie list, I will add another event listener for the click event. Add event listener. We will look for the click event, and once you click on it, we will call a function. Oh, you can directly call this, and then open pop-up. In this case, I'm going to just call open pop-up, and then I will pass on the movie element. Okay. So this will have access to the movie as of now, and then if the event listener is actually triggered, then it will call the function open pop-up movie. Okay. So after that is done, just quickly make sure everything is in place. Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna create the function for open pop-up. Open pop-up, I will take the movie as a parameter, and inside this particular function, what we'll do is we will get that element which has been triggered. Oh no, not the element. We have to get this movie details so that we can actually show up in the we can actually show the pop-up. So document dot get element by id, and then we will call movie details. So this is the id which it has. Yeah, movie details. So that is there. Once inside that, we will create a model instance. So in this case, my model new bootstrap dot modal, and then l dot query selector. So modal. So what it's necessarily doing is, according to Bootstrap, like after Bootstrap 5, jQuery has been completely deprecated, and then you have to do everything via vanilla JavaScript. So this is the vanilla JavaScript way of opening the modal. So you have an instance of Bootstrap modal and this particular element. So movie details has a modal element in it. So this modal is now the instance of a modal element in Bootstrap. Okay. So now we have the modal, and then what we'll do is we will just use my modal.show. So as of now, if you click on it, you're going to just see an empty modal. So now we have to update the modal values as needed. So I'm going to say my modal dot no. So l dot query selector, and then we will look for the modal title in it. So modal title equal to, and then dot text content equal to our movie dot title. So let's quickly check if this is working. Yeah. Wait, what? Huh. So the event listener, I think it's acting up. Let me just quickly check. So all these elements are getting only man, which is the last one, I think. Yeah, that's the last one. So event listener is actually working in a weird way. So let me just check if we change this to function and if this is working. No. Okay. Oh, I've been adding the event listener into movie list. Instead of that, you should be adding each element. Now it should work. Yeah. So that part is done. Now movie.title. Once we have built the title, now we have to just look into the next one, which is the model body. Okay. So I'm gonna access all the body element using const body l dot query selector, and then dot modal dot body. Okay. So once we have that, we can just update the body element to have the inner HTML. We will initialize to empty, and then we will insert adjacent HTML, and then we will say okay. before ending the element, we have to show the image. So image src equal to, so the same path, and then here instead of 300, yeah, we can go with 300 itself, and then we will just use the backdrop path. Okay, so I'm going to do movie dot backdrop path. So now we have our image element, and we'll also say alt, and then movie dot title image backdrop. Okay, and then we will close the image tag. Okay, so now that's done. We will also add some more elements, such as the overview of the movie itself. So insert HTML before begin, and then we will insert a p tag, p class equal to, so I'm going to put a margin from the top, and then inside that we will just do movie dot overview. So the overview element is over here. You can just copy that and then movie dot overview. Okay, so that is done. And then once you have, now we have to show the rating. So insert adjacent HTML, and then same thing before end. Wait, before end. Then we will show rating, then colon will show I class equal to FA star, and then dollar movie dot vote average, and then we will show inside the bracket how many users have voted for it. So movie dot vote count. Just gonna copy that and paste over here. So now we have this. Now it should show up. Let's check. Yeah, so that is done. I think the only issue is that the image is not 100% in width, so we can add a width class over here, with attribute with 100%. Checking, yeah, that's working. Cool. All right, so that part is working. Yes, so this is our complete script. And then if you want to make sure that no error is happening, and then we have to accommodate for the error as well, then you can just use catch error in rfetch API, and then if you find an error, we're just going to be properly handling it. In this case, I'm just going to be console logging it. So an error occurred, and then you just basically print the error. Okay, so that's it. If you guys have any doubt on this particular code or any other sections, just let me know in the comments, and I will update you as soon as possible. And also, if you have any suggestions for making any kind of video which is related to JavaScript or frontend in general, then just let me know in the comments, then I can address that one as well. All right, so until then, keep coding. I'll see you guys in another one.